Namaskar friends, on behalf of HRDC Gujarat University, myself Professor Preeti Mayani, I am welcoming you all. As we know that today our this webinar is on leadership. Friends, leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. So that's why we are together in this platform. Again, I am welcoming all of you. We have today respected speakers with us, Professor Pareen Somani ji, Professor Sanjay Raja, Shri Dhiren Vaishnav ji, and Devki is joining us within 20 minutes. So again, friends, I'm welcoming you. My director of HRDC Gujarat University, sir, I'm requesting you to say a few words and brief us about this webinar. Professor Dr. Jagdish Joshi ji, sir, please.
Namaskar. I welcome honorable speakers, all the participants, Professor C.G. Brampet, Professor Preeti Mayani ji, and the staff of HRDC to this live webinar. The speakers of today are Dr. Pareen Somani. She is an independent academic scholar, educator, motivational speaker, author, and writer from United Kingdom. If I spot a particular place, then from London. She is a president of Antidut Parivar, and she works with a lot of international and national institutes and organizations. RJ Devki is going to be with us. RJ itself shows you or indicates you what RJ is. You know, it's radio jockey, and she's very famous in Gujarat. So she is with Radio FM, and she's also going to join us. Dhirendra Vaishnav ji, he is executive director of Srimati Gardi Kanavni Mandal, and he is one of well-known leader in the field of education. Sanjay Raja is also a very well-known name to the leadership and to personality development, to memory, and many other things related to personality and leadership. He is an associate professor at MN Law College, Ahmedabad. So with these leaders as speakers, we are going to begin the second webinar of the series. As I told you day before yesterday, that we have flown a series of webinars. And in the series of webinars, the first webinar was on artificial intelligence. And that was very well received. We had more than 1,000 participants. And I'm very happy that they all were very well attentive. And it was a very well organized webinar. When we are going to talk on leadership, I have a small story to share with you, small anecdote to share with you about leadership. There are many aspects of leadership. There are many traits of leadership, and we can talk a lot about leadership. But I just would like to take you 2 minutes, and I would like to tell you one incident. The chairman of Tata Steel was holding weekly meeting with Tata Steel staff in Jamshedpur. This is one of real incident. Maybe many of you would have read this in WhatsApp also somewhere. It was a meeting which was going on, and it was a weekly meeting. One of the worker, took up a serious issue, and that issue was really very serious. He said the quality of hygiene of the toilets for the workers was very bad. And he said, whereas he pointed out that the cleanliness and hygiene of the executive toilets was always very good. You would have seen that in your institutes also, maybe, that the toilets which are used by the higher officials or the executives, they are always very clean. And the toilet which is used by the lower workers or other class, they were not clean. So that was the complaint. The chairman asked his top executive how much time he need to set it right. That means how much time he will require to set it right and settle it. The executive thought little bit, and he said that, okay, I may require 1 month to set it right. That means to settle this issue, he may require 1 month. Chairman said, I would rather do it in a day. That means he said, I can solve this in a day. Okay, just do one thing, send me a carpenter. Next day, when the carpenter came, he just ordered the carpenter that just swept the signboards. जो साइन बोर्ड वो एग्जीक्यूटिव की जो यूरिनल था, जो उनका टॉयलेट था, जो उनका वॉशरूम था, उसके ऊपर लगाया हुआ था कि ये एग्जीक्यूटिव के लिए है। बोला कि इस साइन बोर्ड को तुम उतार लो और इसको उतार के जो वर्कर का जो टॉयलेट है उसके ऊपर लगा दो, और जो वर्कर का साइन बोर्ड है वो इसके ऊपर लगा दो। यानी आपसे जो एग्जीक्यूटिव यूज कर रहे हैं उसको वर्कर यूज करेंगे, और वर्कर यूज कर रहे हैं उसको एग्जीक्यूटिव यूज करेंगे। सो ही स्वैप्ड इट। द साइन बोर्ड ऑन द वर्कर्स टॉयलेट displayed executive and the executive toilet displayed workers. अब आपको लगेगा कि चलो अच्छी बात है, लेकिन ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा, लेकिन दोबारा यही होगा कि जो एग्जीक्यूटिव लगाया हुआ बोर्ड है वहां पर अगेन क्लीन होगा और वर्कर में अनक्लीन या इतना क्लीन नहीं होगा। बट व्हाट द चेयरमैन हैज डन इज, चेयरमैन देन इंस्ट्रक्टेड दैट द साइन बोर्ड टू बी चेंज्ड एवरी फोर्टनाइट। हर 2 दिन के बाद ये साइन बोर्ड स्वैप होंगे, यानी हर 2 दिन के बाद जो एग्जीक्यूटिव्स हैं वो वर्कर का जो वॉशरूम है उसको यूज करेंगे, और वर्कर जो है वो एग्जीक्यूटिव का जो वॉशरूम है, टॉयलेट है, उसको यूज करेंगे। एंड फ्रेंड्स, टू द सरप्राइज ऑफ एवरीबॉडी, द क्वालिटी ऑफ बोथ द टॉयलेट्स came at par in next few days. Leadership is something much more than being an executive. It's much more than the designation. Leader is somebody who thinks for everybody and who takes responsibility. The biggest important thing for the leader is he should plan, he should know the weakness and strength of his team. अपनी टीम की वीकनेस और स्ट्रेंथ लीडर को पता होनी चाहिए, अपनी स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस पता होनी चाहिए, और ही शुड नो कि किसके पास क्या स्ट्रेंथ है और किससे क्या टास्क किया जाना चाहिए, किसको बोला जाना चाहिए कि तुम क्या टास्क करोगे। He should assign the proper task to a proper person and he should take responsibility. So प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन रिक्वायर्स अ क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग। ये जो पूरा मैंने एनेक्डोट बताया उसका तात्पर्य ये है कि प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन करने के लिए तो क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग चाहिए, जो हम सबके पास है। हम प्रॉब्लम तो तुरंत आइडेंटिफाई कर देते हैं, लेकिन उससे बड़ी चीज जो है वो है क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग। प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए, प्रॉब्लम को रिजॉल्व करने के लिए जो चाहिए वो है क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग। और इसी प्रकार से अगर हम क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग का उपयोग करेंगे तो अच्छे लीडर भी बन सकते हैं और प्रॉब्लम्स को रिजॉल्व भी कर सकते हैं। डोंट लुक एट द प्रॉब्लम एज अ प्रॉब्लम, लुक एट द प्रॉब्लम एज अ चैलेंज एंड द सॉल्यूशन। जस्ट लुक एट द सॉल्यूशन व्हाट कैन बी डन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम। दैट इज हाउ वी कैन वर्क ऑन दैट। फ्रेंड्स, I would like to once again invite you to this Gujarat University, which is leader in many ways. जब हम लीडरशिप की बात कर रहे हैं तो मैं कैसे गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी के लीडर्स को भूल सकता हूं। गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी की शुरुआत जहां से हुई वहां से लेके आज तक बड़े बड़े लीडर्स ने गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी को लीडरशिप दी है। ना ही इतना, लेकिन गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी ने भारतवर्ष को बहुत बड़े बड़े लीडर्स दिए हैं। अगर मैं अपने कुछ अलुमनाई की बात करूं जो अभी भारत भर का नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं, तो हमारे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, वो गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी के अलुमनाई है। ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी इज एन अलुमनाई ऑफ गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी। सो वी हैव गिवन सच अ लीडर टू द कंट्री who is at present Prime Minister of India. Even Amit Shah ji, he is also alumni of Gujarat University. If I look at other sides, if I look at internationally, there are many people. अगर आप प्रणव मिस्त्री की बात करें, a technocrat and CEO of Samsung World International, तो जो प्रणव मिस्त्री है, he is also alumni of Gujarat University. I would suggest you कि आप गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी की वेबसाइट पे जाइए और नोटेबल अलुमनाइज का लिस्ट देखिए। आपको पता चलेगा कि कैसे कैसे लीडर गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी ने भारतवर्ष को दिए हैं। गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी इज लीडर इन गुजरात स्टेट इंस्टीट्यूशनल रैंकिंग फ्रेमवर्क, दैट इज नोन एज GSIRF। लास्ट ईयर का जो GSIRF हुआ था इंस्टीट्यूशनल रैंकिंग, उसमें गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी नंबर 1 पे है। इट इज नंबर 1 एंड ओनली 5-star यूनिवर्सिटी इन द स्टेट। इफ आई टॉक अबाउट नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशनल रैंकिंग फ्रेमवर्क, NIRF, गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी स्टैंड्स ऑन 44th नंबर इन होल इंडिया। भारतवर्ष में जितने भी इंस्टीट्यूट्स ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन हैं उसमें 44th रैंक पे गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी स्टैंड करती है। सो यू आर इन अ वेबिनार विद सच एन इंस्टीट्यूट व्हिच हैज इट्स own credibility, its own status, and I am very thankful to all the participants who are joining us. I tell you friends, in these webinars more than 5,000 participants are joining us in all the webinars. There are number of patents, research projects, research publications in Nature, Scopus and whatnot. We have live MOU with Japan and many other countries, and which are very much in execution. Startup and Innovation Center of Gujarat University is one of very famous center. We are working for Army, Indian Air Force, Defense and DRDO. I would like to tell you, friends, that HRDC is also pioneer in many ways. I suggest all of you to go to the website of HRDC and try to look at it कि HRDC किन किन चीजों में लीडर है और HRDC बहुत सारी कौन सी नई चीजें कर रही हैं. मुझे लगता है कि आप में से बहुत सारे लोग HRDC की बहुत सारी इनिशिएटिव के प्रतिभागी भी होंगे. तो अब HRDC और गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी की लीडरशिप के बारे में ज्यादा बात नहीं करते हुए हमारे साथ जो स्पीकर्स हैं उनको सुनते हैं. हम तो साथ में ही हैं. आई वेलकम ऑल टू द फैमिली ऑफ HRDC. जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं उनको मैं फैमिली ऑफ HRDC में उनका स्वागत करता हूं और मैं प्रीति जी को रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि सेशन को आगे बढ़ाएं. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a proud moment for HRDC Gujarat University also, because we have Professor Jagdish Joshi. He is a dynamic young personality and he is also leading this HRDC Gujarat University. सर के साथ काम करते हुए जो मैंने फील किया है वो एक सेंटेंस में मैं कहना चाहूंगी, बी अ मेंटर नॉट अ बॉस. सो इसी पूरे एक स्टेटमेंट में सर का और हमारे यहाँ HRDC टीम का जो एटीट्यूड है वर्क प्लेस पे, वो वी आर जस्ट नॉट, हम लोग ये पूरा भाषण ही नहीं देते, वी आर प्रैक्टिसिंग ऑल्सो. So thank you so much, sir, for your nice words, motivational words. Now, friends, we have our eminent speaker, Dr. Dhiren Vaishnav ji. Let me introduce you first. Dhiren Vaishnav ji was the registrar of Bhavnagar University for 9 years, and he was also head of the department of Excel Group of Industries. And he was also he played his role while the Kutch earthquake of 29th NGOs for 16 months. So he's also executive director of Srimati Gadi Bhavnagar Stri Kedavani Mandal. He is a management coach and mentor, motivational speaker, TV moderator on live programs, and the another quality of his is stage singer of old Hindi film songs, and he is also a leading personality of this managerial boards of various industries of Gujarat. So, sir, I'm welcoming you on behalf of HRDC Gujarat University and inviting you for your speech.
Well, thank you, Priti, so much for a very luxurious praises about me. And Dr. Professor Jagdish Joshi, I'm very proud to inform you that I am a graduate of Gujarat University, a very ordinary student, very ordinary. But during my university days as registrar of Bhavnagar University, I was visiting the university, Gujarat University, very, very frequently. And all vice chancellors from 1989 to 1997, well, I was quite close to them. So very happy to share the platform of HRD Gujarat University, and I wish you all good luck. Well, friends, today I have on my shelf some academic or theoretical aspects of leadership. We have various types or various class of various categories of leadership, like, for example, dynastic leadership, hierarchical leadership, knowledge leadership, moral leadership, and various things. One more I am not mentioning right now. It will be the last one. So today I'm trying to share my views on various categories of leadership. And the first I would like to take up is dynastic leadership. That means leadership through dynasty. Like in historical said, it's a king and the prince becomes the king, something like that. And in a present situation, we have business houses, where father and son, father becomes chairman and the son becomes managing director, etc., etc. And of course, we have professionals like lawyers, chartered accountants, and not to mention much about it, but even in the political field, we have dynastic leadership in India. In industry, if you say, Adanis and Ambanis and Kirloskars and Bajaj are very famous examples of dynastic leadership. A son is born in a particular family, or a person is born in a particular family, and right from the beginning, he is groomed in an environment suitable for the organization, may it be a business house or anything else. So the positive factors of dynamics, when leadership of dynasty, is environment and grooming from childhood. It is mental preparation of being a leader later on. Then natural acceptance by others meaning all public and stakeholders. So no external conflict, just only command, and the people accept it. And a dynastic leadership, in dynastic leadership, the leader has a great extent, a great amount of personal stake for prospering, for developing the organization. And that is why, because of the grooming, because of maybe the genes working, and all this, he becomes a natural leader of his or her organization. But the limiting factors of this leadership is, if the wishes, the ambition, aptitude, attitude is of the heir in future is different than the present one, the father or the family, it creates internal conflicts and may jeopardize the security and the safety of organizations and stakeholders. Well, we have examples from the Mahabharata, Mughal Empire, and in some business houses, even today. We don't have to give the name, but we know now currently that there's a conflict between the father and the son, first generation, the next generation, the father and the uncles and the nephews and all. So leadership through dynasty has this limitation factors. Well, examples, for example, I will say, take it very lightly. What happens in the dynastic leadership when a young air pilot of Indian Airlines, erstwhile Indian Airlines, now known as Air India, it was Indian Airlines. So a young pilot of Indian Airlines suddenly sees himself in the seat of, as a pilot of not a small aircraft, but a country. And you know what? Now, this is the limiting factor for a dynastic leadership. It has its own thing. So success of course, of a leader, even in dynasty leadership, is the personal traits, the personal qualities. Fine. We go to the next one. Leadership through hierarchy. What we call is hierarchical leadership. Government setup, district collector, army, public sectors, and non-family business houses, corporates, like, for example, CEOs and chairmen and MDs of professional organizations, they don't have any family connections, foundations, and NGOs. Positive factors about this type of leadership is clarity of different levels of authority and command, responsibility, leadership through the protocol. Good one is positive is a very professionally qualified person leads the organization, and because of his professional approach, he becomes a leader and successful leader. And acceptance of the people is through authority. Everybody knows he is the collector, he is the MD, he is the president, and therefore is accepted by hierarchical post by protocol. Now, limitations, if we talk about, in many organizations, the person who is given authority to lead has to work with more functionally experienced people and more knowledgeable in their particular subject. Longer period of service, they're senior in length of service, elders. For example, a young IS is posted as district collector. Now subordinates are more elder, more knowledgeable in the revenue matters, and many things. So just a minute. Okay. So I had some battery low, now it is on. Thank you. I'm so sorry for the interruption. Okay, so what happens with him is that he is by authority, he is district collector. People give command. But he himself knows, and the others also know, that in some subjects, he is not more knowledgeable than them others, his subordinates. So how does he lead them? Well, a successful leader, a district collector, leads by understanding the subjects, the issues, the situations, and he appreciates the subject systems, rules and regulations, and then he gives freedom of decisions to the subordinates many a times. And many a times, if a good leader, a good district collector, though he plans well, but is given supervisors, day-to-day supervision to the mamlatdars and deputy collectors and others. So this is how they manage. An ideal example, a classic example is of Mr. Dhawan, who heads the administrative head of ISRO with APJ Kalam. Now you can understand the height of APJ Kalam as a scientist. I mean, Mr. Dhawan can understand that. But Mr. Dhawan was also a very enlightened administrator, and it is he who motivated and inspired, and at one time he protected, defended a person like APJ Kalam. And because of it, he was not a space scientist, Mr. Dhawan. He was posted as a hierarchical head. And that, in spite of that, because of the liberty, because of the motivation, because of the coordination skill, he could do what many countries could not do in space. This is where the beauty of hierarchical leadership comes in. Well, another one is knowledge leadership, leadership through knowledge. Example is, well, he's not born in in a family which has authority. He's an ordinary person, common man, but his knowledge. And the examples are research institutes, law firms, academic institutes. Again, let's remember APJ Abdul Kalam. He was chairman of Technology Mission. Well, he was, because he was the most powerful, most enlightened, most knowledgeable scientist of the country. And that is why he had a technology commission. For 12 years, I worked as the head of the Management Development Division, SBU, of Excel Group of Industries, the agrochemical manufacturers. Now, the classic example of two brothers. One, the founder of Excel, Mr. Chabrad Bhai Shroff. He was just a BSc with chemistry. Of course, gold medalist. But immediately after that, he started industry. And with other postgraduate chemistry graduates and many other people, along with the team, some elders, he produced how many innumerable chemicals, and non-chemical and plastics manufactured products in a span of 30-40 years. Well, he could inspire. His youngest brother, Kanti Sen Sroff, is now 99, living in Kutch. Kanti Sen Sroff, you'll be surprised to know that he was learning painting in Shanti Niketan. And when Gandhiji appealed to the students to close down the university, go out of the university, he left Shanti Niketan, and he was one of the first youngest persons to participate in the first Hind Chhoro Quit India movement procession in Mumbai. Well, I mean, he took over, he learned chemistry, he learned agriculture, and after that, he became one of the most powerful chemical technologists. With him, there were innumerable, many doctorates in chemistry. There were many chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, science graduates of biology, and many MBAs. But he inspired people, built very powerful teams of people. And even at the Kutch, in the rural area, he did not know what was rural craft, handicraft. He learned, he gained knowledge. And after that, he started. He didn't know how grapes, how dates, khajur, can be grown beautifully. He learned it. He acquired knowledge. And through his knowledge, he led the farmers of Kutch. He led doctorates of chemistry. He led chemical engineers. And this is how he made the agrochemical industry a very powerful one. This is the beauty of knowledge. But the knowledge leader understands, and if he doesn't understand, it becomes a limitation. He understands that he is an area, maybe management, administration is not my cup of tea. And therefore, I trust, I depend with such professionals, and then he could build an industry. This is one. But the last one, and my most favorite leadership style or the category is servant leadership. I repeat, servant leadership. Lead by serving. My most favorite. Not because a person is born in a particular family, not by post, not even by knowledge, but a person can lead organization, or an organization can lead just by serving. They serve to the needs, wishes, dreams, comforts of the mass, the people. Say, may customers, stakeholders, whoever. Examples: hotels, hospitals, and other sectors like banking, insurance. Can you tell me which hotel would lead the hotel sector? Naturally, which offers the excellent facilities and services. Well, Jindagi ke saath or Jindagi ke baad bhi a tagline of and a title of an insurance company, public sector. Now, this is where, I'm referring to Life Insurance Corporation. But friends, classic, unique example of servant leadership is Gandhi. When I say Gandhi, I mean Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Did he become a leader because of Gandhi? He was born in a dynasty, family of Gandhis? No, Gandhi dynasty was never there. Had he any designated, post like prime minister or president or even governor? No, he was not. Was he the most knowledgeable person of the country or India? Not at all. Not at all. Then, how? How could he lead the country to the independence? And he has influenced. A lot of people they're under influence of Gandhi. Like whom? Scholars like Will Durant, scientists like Einstein, Mandela, and even today, presidents and chiefs and heads of many countries, they give respect to him, and he is the person who is established as the man of the millennium. No dynasty, no knowledge, no designators, for no hierarchy. Then how could he do it? Just by serving the people. And how did he serve? He saw the needs, the wishes, the feelings of the people, and he worked for them. He understood the needs and got command of the country. Rashtrapita he was established. Well, Pita, father, leads with emotions, leads, cares, and serves. Well, last example. Who was the leader of, or rather, who led the army of Pandavas in Mahabharata? Yudhishthir? No. Arjun? No. Bhim? No. You know who? It was Krishna who led the army, who led the direction, who set the direction for the victory of the Pandavas. And was he the commander? No. Had he taken any weapon in his hand? No. He accepted to become the Sarathi of Arjun. He wanted to serve. Sarathi is serving. And he served Arjun. He served Pandavas. And that is how he led, by serving. Even in the midst of the beginning of the war, Arjun was confused. And he had decided to shut off that Gandhi. I don't want to fight. Here, he could understand the need. Krishna understood the need of Arjun, and he consoled him. And he counseled, served him, and by serving, he motivated, inspired Arjun, and we know the result. So this is how the servant leadership, that's very important. It's very difficult, because you don't have any family background support, you don't have knowledge support, you don't have hierarchical support, and even then you can lead, and you're leading. So friends, maybe it be leadership through dynasty, knowledge, whatever. My view is that only personal traits, qualities, and values, vision, skill, and attitude, and service to the people is the person who becomes a successful leader. Person serves people, and people places, honors him as leader. So this is how the basics of the types of leadership we have, and this maybe more academic, but I think it is necessary to know that there are various types of leaders, and who we may be talking about the disco. I visited disco and I met Pilu Modi. Well, what was he? Just by sheer serving. And with the last end of Pilu Modi, when I went to meet him, I went to the township of Tisco and asked and I didn't know where he was staying, where the house was. So I just asked some kids playing football, and I said, I want to meet Pilu Modi. Can you direct me? Then he said, oh, he stays there, but Pilu Modi is in Mumbai today, not in Tisco. He'll be coming on Thursday. This is Pilu Modi's leadership, because he served people. He served children, and this is the leadership. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session by you. Excellent session, sir. Leadership is a series of behaviors rather than a role of heroes. So, friends, Devki is with us. Meet Gujarat's most awarded FM, RJ Devki. Currently, India's number one RJ awarded by radio and music.com and International Radio Festival. I just go through your Facebook account, Devki, and look at that the titles. Don't have job, want to work. Uh, Thank God I am Indian. Let's be better Indian. So Devki is leading the youth with the radio programs and her love for stage performance. So on behalf of HRDC Gujarat University, Devki, I am heartily welcoming you
Thank
and
you.
inviting you for your views on leadership.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm very happy and delighted to be on this stage speaking to all of you through webinar. And last entire year has been quite a difficult year for the rest of the world. It's very interesting when maximum people that you meet nowadays, like how people talk about weather in Europe or London, when they meet each other, they don't know what to say. So just to kind of do the ice breaking, people talk to each other about the weather. Currently in the world, people are talking to each other about COVID, and they are asking each other, how was the patch for you, and did you have the how is the business, or how is work, or are you back to normal? These are the regular questions. And to me also, most of the people, when they meet me, without realizing, though they know the kind of work that I do, but I've met a lot of people who have asked me the same question. And they say, though, so has the work suffered, or so what did you do in a lockdown? And I have to tell them that we never had a lockdown, because we worked in fact thrice more, or maybe 10 times more our power, because we did not have the kind of technology that we generally have at our doorstep in terms of our studios and our equipments and the rest of the team that helps us function so seamlessly. We were for a long time we were working from home and trying to deliver the same kind of quality that we would ideally do in terms of radio. And also because the impact and the usage of digital grew in multiple folds. And that's why all of us till now we were looking at ourselves as people who are working in radio. And we had to eventually step into a zone where we had to understand that we are only content providers. The medium is no more X or Y or Z. Why I'm bringing this conversation here, as you have been talking about leadership, because somebody had to understand that at this point, I'm not radio, I'm not TV, I'm not newspaper, I'm not a common man, I'm not a citizen. All of us are trying to coexist in the best manner possible. The scientists have been saying this, that and the researchers also have been saying this, that the entire world's COVID, if you try and put it into a volume, you can put the entire world's COVID virus just in one spoon. Now just imagine that, as human beings, we have been wanting to go to the Mars, and people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are trying to invest so much money into something like this. And at the same time, we all know that human race in evolution, in civilization, with restoration, with industrialization, we've done so much in terms of growth, and we still realize that something so we were leading the world is what we were very confident about. And there's this invisible small little virus that has held us by the neck in the entire world. at the same time. And there is no blue jeans anymore, which is working better than the third world country. In fact, in countries like Africa, in the initial time where it was everywhere else, in the rarest of the spaces where you still have those tribes living, it had never reached there. So the people who were so-called more modern and leading had to kind of relook at themselves and the kind of lifestyle that they were adopting to. And that's where my entire conversation of leadership comes from. Because, we, a lot of times, what we understand as our position in terms of leadership and where we are, in fact, as a leader, can be completely different ball game. Unless and until there's somebody leading you that steps in, you keep thinking that you are in the power position. But somewhere, if you're leading into something else, I think we need to go back to the original civilization where we remind ourselves that a human race was not staying at the same place and living in the same land. We were, there was this very interesting story that I heard from uh, a Dastan Goi performer who was talking about these cat leaders, the Maldharis. And they say that the first man that was born on the planet was a Maldhari. And the god had told him that, you should just follow wherever your cattle are going. And they will be able to take you to a safe.
Yeah, I'm continuing. Hello. Yeah, I'm continuing.
Yes, yes.
Hi. Can you hear
What
me? I'm getting a
one?
very disturbed.
Hiroshi bhai, is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
one second.
Friends, sorry for this disturbance. Devki, please continue. Yeah.
I still can't hear you. Can you hear? Hi, can you hear me? Fine. Hello.
Yeah, it's fine, man. You can continue. And no net problem.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am. Audible.
Okay, great. So I was saying that the God had told the cattle breeders that the human race that you don't have to stay at the same place. I will arrange your food from the top, and you have to keep going in the direction wherever your animals take you, because they exactly know when the season is changing and they'll be able to protect you. There was a time when human mind's curiosity and the analytical power enabled him to think that why do I have to depend on the food and always be on the move? Why can't I break the earth and find my food? અને ત્યારે કદાચ જમીન ફાડીને એમાંથી દાણો નીકળ્યો, and that's when the entire ખેતી ક્રાંતિ happened. If we were not like that anymore, then I think we would have valued our planet and the power of energy or God Almighty or the maker of the planet, or we would have valued the coexistence more. I would suggest that every person who really wants to be a leader cannot think of themselves just looking at their own department or just looking at their own team or just looking at their like minds. I think when you end up becoming a better leader when you accept your versatile team and their differences amongst each other, and still you are able to bring out the best in them. Sitting aside criticizing how they are in terms of how human beings always have a problem. For example, there's a play that we have been doing called Akupar, where we say that okay, all the lions have come out on the roads, but we don't realize that actually we are the ones who have stepped into their jungles, and the jungles have become smaller and smaller and smaller, and there was a time when there were only 9 lions left in Gujarat, and now we worked really hard to have about 630 lions in the jungle. It has taken us so many years, and obviously lions have their own territory and they need their own size, and in all those sides we have developed a civilization. So now we have a feeling that they are stepping back into our space, which was originally their space. And the more we were trying to get into their space, the more they were going inwards, and at one point of time, for our own fancy of hunting, for our fancy of showing off, we ended up killing all these animals. We have a tiger saving campaign, a lion saving campaign. There are people in Masinagudi who throw a burning tire on an elephant and it dies. Now think of all these things as your team members in whichever team that you're working in. If you're in college and you have your other professors as your RJs, we have multiple jocks. Let me give you our example, and so it becomes easier for you to see, because it's always easy to see problems and possibilities in other teams much more frankly in comparison of our own teams and our own examples. So that's why I want to bring you a radio example here. We have 5 different RJs in each station, and then there are other programming team members also. They all have a different personality. They don't have to be like Devki. They don't have to be like Dhrumil. They don't have to be like Harsh. A Harsh has to be different than a Dhrumil. A Dhrumil has to be different than Devki. A Devki has to be different than Dhruvi. So the person who is leading all these 5 people is going to go bonkers dealing with them, because they all have strong personalities. They all have very individual voice. They all have something to say, and they all are different. So you cannot bring 5 different copies of Devki and try to think that why my each jock is not popular, right? So now we take a decision of having multiple personalities, put them under the same roof, and then as a manager, if we say that, oh, but it's so difficult to deal with them because all 5 of them are different. The idea is that 5 of them are different, and that's the beauty of it. That is what makes my brand more interesting, more vibrant, more versatile, more inclusive. Today in the country, in the world, when human beings are fighting human beings in terms of caste and creed and race and color and backgrounds and economical power, where there we have such big issues dealing with each other, imagine that there is a larger fight that we fought in last year in terms of human beings and others. At the time when we will have to step into another planet and find life, because this planet will start becoming smaller for us, would we still be able to fight with each other and say that who will go first to Mars? Let's say in next 5 years or 6 years, what are the things which are going to be less progressive in terms of consideration? Things which are okay and acceptable to us today will become different in coming next 6 years or 10 years, or like being queer is seen as regressive. Talking about caste and race and Black Lives Matter, these are the things that we're talking about still for so many years, and there are years and years to go for us to be a more progressive society. At that point of time, a leader cannot be a single person who is thinking that I am therefore the others are. The leader will have to understand there are others and therefore I am one of them, and I have an insight, and I want to bring all of them together and walk my path. At the same time, if you have something really progressive and different and visionary, you will have to find a different story to get every person on board with you. You can't say, I'm only going to take a green with me, I'm only going to take a saffron with me, I'm only going to take a white with me. Let's stop giving our colors to our religions. Let's stop giving our shapes and flowers and planets and plants to differentiate people. I think as a leader, wherever we are looking at something, we don't need to have somebody who is only a good orator. We need somebody who has as much a humane concern, as much a concern of having everyone by your side. And I totally agree that when you are a leader, you can't make everybody happy. It's a difficult position to be in. You should be able to take slack. You should be able to take whatever the price that comes with it. But at the same time, it should not be at a cost of somebody, though they might see it like that at that point. There has to be a calculated risk while you are bringing a point up where the team is still taking time to come to that point. But one also has to be kind, generous, human, and considerable in that speed and pace while you are taking an entire group of team with you. Because not everybody has the same pace, not everybody has the same kind of capacity to take leap of faith. Not even everyone is less cynical to believe in everything that is going to happen with them in terms of whoever is leading them. So you can, the line that I heard many years back, and I totally believe in it, that you can only lead by an example. You can't be living a separate life, living in your ivory towers and assume that everybody else is going to be there. At the same time, just by selling people rags to riches story, that see, this person came from nowhere and this person has made it so big, and that is why this person deserves everything that this person has, is also an old phenomena. People earn things slowly, and just because people are entitled, that doesn't mean that they don't have to work hard. People like Abhishek Bachchan are best examples of it, that they have to work very, very hard. Maybe one can't imagine that when you have a father figure like Amitabh Bachchan, how difficult it is to break that ice ceiling. At the same time, if you are a Kangana Ranaut who has come from nowhere, that doesn't make you entitled to say any damn thing and just keep raging people without having a balance of your thoughts. Why I'm giving a Bollywood example again, because it's easier to understand these examples. Not because I think that the world revolves around this one single industry. I don't think entertainment and entertainment industry is all about taking the world to the next level. But unfortunately, our current youth and a lot of us refrain to read history, refrain to read the evolution of political scenario in the rest of the world, what Rome was doing, what England was doing, what Russia was doing, apart from Second World War, who was fighting the war, why were they fighting the war, who was standing with who, why were we saying that as India we've not even agreed to be part of the war, why have been taken to the war. These questions are very, very important for all of us to read before we take up any other avenues of leadership. Why I'm saying this is because not just, I mean, imagine to become a politician in this country and lead the entire country does not require you any background or degree of knowledge of your own country, of your own history. When we are in that space, if you have to operate a human body, you will not have somebody who has not studied to become a surgeon, right? But you are ready to give away your country in hands of anybody who have had no background of knowing your country well, knowing your diversity well, knowing your from here to Mediterranean Sea. In about in last 5,000 years, there's not been more diverse country like us, and the kind of power that we have, I think that itself is the best example for leadership. And anybody who can value what we have as a country together, I think across the world, we are the example of staying in big families together, surrendering ourselves to our family members and the bond of marriage. We have had the course of 400 years where we see this, that there are so many people live together, and the Varki Vyavhar is what we are all about, And at that point of time, if we think of leadership in terms of I am given the thappa, so I become the leader. But if you have not won the hearts of people, and not just by celebrating and giving them festivals and giving them goodies and giving them raise and giving them bonuses, but identifying their bests and their weaknesses, and not playing with their weaknesses, but highlighting their bests, can only make a great leader. And I hope that whoever is watching this webinar will end up serving as one of the best leaders and not reigning as one of the best leaders.
Thank you so much, Devki, for spending your time and sharing your views on leadership. Thank you so much once again on behalf of HRDC, Gujarat University. So friends, friendship is about being of service to others, not being served by others. So, Devki, it was really a great session by you. Now, friends, we have Professor Sanjay Rajaji with us. Sanjay is a very good friend of HRDC Gujarat University. Whenever we need his guidance, he is always with us. Let me introduce Sanjay Rajaji first. He is an associate professor at Maniklal Nanavati Law College, GLS campus. He has trained more than 75,000 students, teachers, and professionals on transformative learning system. He has written various books, and one was selected in Vache Gujarat project. So, Sanjay, I am inviting you for your session on leadership. Sanjay ji, your mic is mute. Yeah, perfect.
Thank you very much, Priti ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank you Preeti ma'am, Dr. Joshi sir, and entire HRDC team to be a part of this wonderful webinar where a good friend of mine, Parin Somani, is there. A great personality, Mr. Vaishnav, is there. Everybody knows Ajay Devki. So thank you, HRDC. See, just I'll have 1 minute to share my screen. Can you see this PowerPoint? Is it visible?
No, sir. NV is the name, is that?
Okay, no issue. If I can handle without PowerPoint also. I'm going to discuss some characteristic and qualities of a good leader through my experience by reading some books or by reading some articles. I just came to the conclusion that leaders may be a born leader, or leader can be developed also. But this is a big question, that leaders are born or made. There was one football coach, a very legendary American football coach. He once said, leaders are not born, they are made. And they are made just like anything else, through their hard work. This was the words of Mr. Lombardi. I partially agree with him. But in my life, I also observed there are so many characteristics in some people. We can identify them as a leadership qualities inborn. There is a very popular book written by Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. हिंदी में कहावत है, शाम दाम दंड भेद. किसी भी तरह से, there are so many people, especially in politics, they become leader. In my session, I'm not talking about that kind of political leaders who follow the 48 laws of power and become a leader. But I'll talk about Gandhi ji as a leader, Pramukh Swami as a leader, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel as a leader. And which kind of characteristic they have, so they become a very successful leader during their life. See, the first characteristic I've observed or I noted, that integrity. सलमान खान अगर एक मूवी में बताता है कि अगर मैंने कुछ चीज कमिट कर दी तो फिर मैं अपने आप की खुद की भी नहीं सुनता. कितना ग्लैमरस लगता है सुनने में, राइट? बट गांधी जी वाज थ्रोन आउट ऑफ द ट्रेन at the platform, and he committed himself that I will not tolerate this nonsense, this discrimination, this racism, and history is the witness. बोलना वो और बात है, and पूरी life to be committed, to be integrated, it's very much difficult. बोलते बहुत लोग हैं. There was a wonderful incident between Acharya Kripalani and Mahatma Gandhi ji. When Acharya Kripalani met Mahatma ji first time. So before Mahatma ji, Kripalani ji argued, Mahatma ji, I'm a professor of history. I teach, I learn history. And I haven't observed even a single incident that, I mean, there are so many examples of revolution. But revolution without violence, how can it be possible? So I have my own doubts on your theories, on your beliefs. Gandhiji very confidently and very humbly replied, Mr. Kripalani, you teach history. I'll create history. See how confident he was in his own ideas. This is the best example of a leader, of his a wonderful characteristic of his leadership, and a wonderful characteristic. I have also observed so many leaders, they are very powerful in delegating the works. If they are top at the hierarchy, they delegate the work very wonderfully. When I visited अक्षरधाम वंश, ऐसा हुआ था कि मैं अक्षरधाम और ताजमहल, almost there was a gap of a day only. First I have visited Akshardham, then I have visited Taj Mahal. It's my personal opinion. I was more impressed by the Akshardham. When I visited that, it was a mesmerizing experience. With due respect of all the person behind making of Taj Mahal, with very limited resources. But if I compare both the things, wonderful creation by BAPS. Now, if we, so many people know that Pramukh Swami Maharaj was only, his educational qualification is of only 5th standard. Studied till 5th standard only. And he was leading a person like Brahmvihari Swami, Gnanvatsal Swami, so many youth, doctors, engineers, technocrats. How wonderful the power of delegation he has at that time. Leaders know to whom we should delegate this work. This is one of the very important characteristics are observed in so many great leaders. Communication. See, there was, everybody is aware about the world-class and world-famous speech delivered by Martin Luther King, I have a dream today. क्या था situation? There was a fight against racism. It was a fight relating to some civil rights. And one bill was not passed in the American Parliament. And everybody was eager to know about the opinion of a great leader, Martin Luther King. सब मतलब परेशान थे कि what is इतनी expectations थी कि at this time this bill is going to be passed. But it didn't happen. एक गुस्सा था. There was anger among the people about that their rights had been rejected. And Martin Luther, in his public address, delivered this beautiful speech, I have dreamed today. See, clear case of his thinking, no, in any circumstances will not do violence, in any circumstances. He has courage to deliver that speech because it is against what their people expected from Martin Luther King. People was expecting now Martin Luther will give a green signal for violence. But he was very firm on his idea, his belief. No, the non-violence is not a solution to each and every problem. We must stick to our fight, but in a different manner. So communication and courage. Communication with, it may be verbal communication, it may be a normal verbal communication also. Communication through your actions also. I'll give you, communication doesn't mean one has to be a very good public speaker. Before almost 18-20 years, I have attended a 3-day workshop at Muni Seva Ashram, Goraj. There is a Vagodia district, just Vagodia, just near to Vadodara city. Muni Seva Ashram, the founder of that Muni Seva Ashram, is late, the great personality Anuben Thakkar. She was awarded by Magsaysay Award winner. And there was 2 sessions simultaneously, not simultaneously, one by one. One was taken by a very good author, a very good speaker, Gunwant Shah, and followed by Anuben Thakkar. Now, as we all know, Gunwant Shah is a wonderful speaker. So, session was much appreciated. Everybody, including me, enjoyed that session. And then Anuben's turn came. She spoke only about her journey of making Muni Seva Ashram. Very simple lady, very simple language also. Not a very good, very great scholar like Dr. Gunwant Shah. After these 2 sessions, there was a survey, survey among all participants, that how we are rating that sessions. Trust me and believe me, almost 80% of participants preferred Anuben's session over the Gunwant Shah, with due respect of Gunwant Shah. Now, Gunwant Shah is a wonderful speaker. Everybody knows that. Very good scholar, very good person. And there was a very simple lady like Anuben Thakkar. So is it necessary to be a very good speaker to be a great leader? I don't think. But the clarity of idea, the clarity of that communication must be there. And it was there in the Anuben session. The next characteristic of a great leader is a self-awareness. There was a very wonderful incident took place between Mahatma Gandhi ji and Rabindranath Tagore. Once Gandhi ji visited Tagore's place, Tagore's house, and they need to go somewhere. So Gandhi ji almost waited for half an hour, and Tagore was busy to get ready. So when जब गांधी जी बाहर आए तो then Tagore asked, यार हम दोनों बूढ़े हो गए हैं, इतना सजने संवारने में क्या टाइम लगाना? Tagore replied in a, I mean, it's a super reply. He replied, Mahatma ji, to look ugly in the eyes of other is also a form of violence. किसी की आंखों में गंदा दिखना वो भी एक वायलेंस है. टागोर के अलावा कौन इतना मतलब प्यारा आंसर दे सकता है, राइट? See, leader must have that clarity of thoughts, self-awareness, what should be done, what should not be done. मुझे क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है. They always make mistakes. They learn from mistakes. But they are very clear about their own thinking, their own thoughts. We observe so many opinions given by the some personalities, some public figures. एक बार एक बोला, दूसरी बार दूसरा बोला, फिर वापिस अपने ही opinion से मुकर गए. It's not a great sign of it's not a sign of a great leader. They are very clear about their thoughts. आपको पता ही नहीं है आप क्या कर रहे हैं, right? एक बहुत अच्छा इंसिडेंट है. When I was in Palanpur, we have invited there is a very popular and very nice organization, NGO. So we have invited Ilaben from Awaj, and Ilaben delivered her lecture on women's rights and the situation of Indian women. After her session, one student stood up and he told his opinion कि इलाबेन ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हस्बैंड ने वाइफ को 2-4 झापट मार दी, अब मार दी तो मार दी, और आप जैसी एनजीओ बीच में आ जाती है और इट्स लाइक ए पेट्रोल टू दैट इंसिडेंट. आप लोग ગુજરાતીમાં કહેવત છે ને, બળતામાં ઘી હોમવાનું કામ કરે. So you provoke and you instigate that couple to get separated. That statement was very much appreciated by each and every, almost, I mean 70-80% participants, including girls. Ilaben was very angry and she then immediately sat down. Then, fortunately or unfortunately, it was my role to give vote of thanks. So I said, Ilaben, आप ये जो सेंटेंस ये स्टूडेंट ने बताया कि 2-4 झापड़ अगर हस्बैंड मार दे और आप जैसी एनजीओ बीच में आ जाती है, उसका अगर if we get inference out of that, if we criticize that sentence, तो एक मीनिंग ये भी निकलता है कि 1-2 झपट में तो एनजीओ को इन्वॉल्व नहीं होना चाहिए, बहुत ग्रीवियस इंजरी हो तो इन्वॉल्व होना चाहिए. मतलब 1-2 झपट मारना तो इट्स अ हस्बैंड्स राइट, and some girls, they had also appreciated. What I want to convey, the level of self-awareness should be very higher level if one want to become a good leader. आप ही को पता नहीं है कि आप क्या आइडियोलॉजी को सपोर्ट कर रहे हो, व्हाट्स योर थिंकिंग, आज ये बोल रहे हो कल वो बोल रहे हो. One cannot become a good good leader. See, courage, again, it's one of the most important characteristic. I think I have a few minutes to share, so I'll speed up my session. There was wonderful incident. नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू ने हिंदी में बताया था, तो मैं भी हिंदी में ही बता रहा हूं, मजा आएगा. कि नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू एंड सचिन तेंदुलकर, वो दोनों वेस्ट इंडीज की टूर पे थे, और एम्ब्रोस एंड मार्शल एंड मतलब सिद्धू ने बताया कि हम लोगों की जितनी थाई की साइज होती है उतने तो उनके बाजू होते हैं. मतलब एक एक बॉल 140 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड से आ रहा था. मैं स्ट्राइक पे था, और जैसे ही फर्स्ट बॉल बॉलर ने, वेस्ट इंडियन बॉलर ने डाला, उसने बोला कि जब तक बॉल की पिच पे टप्पी नहीं गिरी थी वहां तक सब कुछ ठीक था, लेकिन एक बार वो पिच पे गिरा, उसके बाद कहां गया पता है. वैसे ही दूसरा, वैसे ही तीसरा, वैसे ही चौथा, कुछ करके मैंने 5वीं गेंद को बड़ी मुश्किल से बैट लगा दिया और आई टुक 1 रन. सचिन स्ट्राइक पे था और मैं सोच रहा था कि ये वेस्ट इंडियन बॉलर के सामने ये बच्चा नहीं चलने वाला. सचिन ने कुछ मतलब बीच में वो लोग पिच पे मिले तो उसने बताया भी सही कि यार जब तक बॉल टप्पी नहीं गिरती ना वहां तक सब कुछ दिखती है, वो उसके बाद कहां जाती है पता नहीं चलता. सचिन ने कुछ रिप्लाई नहीं दिया एंड इट वाज अ सचिन टर्न. देन बॉलर ने बॉल फेंका, सडनली सचिन वाज आउट ऑफ हिज क्रीज. 2-3 स्टेप्स आगे आके सीधा उठा के सिक्सर मार दिया. फिर आराम से आके सिद्धू पाजी को बताता है, पाजी आप बोल रहे थे ना कि टप गिरने के बाद बॉल नहीं दिखती, मैंने साला टप ही नहीं गिरने दी. See, there are so many incidents where this is a very, very small incident, but there are so many incidents where leaders has to take a stand, and in their ability to take that stand, सामने कोई भी हो, कितने भी लोग हो, but how they are going to take that stand, the courage is reflected in their actions. उस किस तरह से वो स्टैंड लेते हैं उसमें एक करेज दिखाई देता है, वो रिफ्लेक्शन होता है. एंड द लास्ट वन, लर्निंग एबिलिटी. See, once Einstein met a professor of physics, and professor of physics introduced himself to Einstein. Mr. Einstein, I'm a professor of physics. Einstein replied, it's very nice meeting to you, sir. I'm a student of physics. A great leader, a good leader should not stop learning. And if I have observed, means it's my observation, till their death, they are learning. They are learning each and every day. They are learning from the incident. They are learning by meeting people. I mean, there are 2-3 more characteristics, but I think time is not. There is a wonderful session is going to deliver by Parin Somani. So Preeti ma'am, do I have 2-3 more minutes? I think I don't. So again, thank you very much for inviting me, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And if time will permit, then we will take 5-10 minutes if there are some questions. And if the
Yeah,
system,
sure, sir. We will have a question answer session after Pareen's presentation. So,
Sure.
participants, I'm requesting all of you that please write down your questions on the comment box, and write down also the name of the resource person to whom you want to ask. Yeah. So, thank you so much, Professor Sanjay Rajaji, for that wonderful
Thank you.
session. Nice presentation, and you really presented lucidly. So, thank you once again, sir.
Thank you.
Pareen, on behalf of HRDC Gujarat University, I'm inviting you for your session. Pareen is a very good friend of HRDC Gujarat University. So she is a family. Obviously, all these experts are the family of HRDC. And as my director has always said that our HRDC department and family of HRDC is extended in each and every courses. So friends, you all the participants are also the family member of this HRDC of Gujarat University. So Pareen, let me introduce you first. I just go through your this introduction pages, so I think it takes so much time. So just so Pareen is an independent academic scholar, motivational speaker, educator, writer, author, and journalist. She has spoken in 125 national and international webinars and conferences in the capacity of chief guest, guest of honor, inaugurator, keynote speaker, chairperson, presenter, interview. She has participated at webinars and conferences during this COVID-19 pandemic. So, Pareen, आपने पूरा ये कोरोना काल में बहुत काम किया ऐसा लगता है. Pareen has 4 doctorate degrees: Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Philosophy in Education and Media, Education Leadership, and Honorary Doctorate in Literature, DLIT. So, also doctorate in Global Education. So, Pareen, I'm inviting you for your session. Please share your views on leadership.
Thank you very much, Professor Preeti, for inviting me, and thank you to Professor Dr. John Joshi for a very kind invitation. And as you mentioned, that HRDC is my family. Yes, I feel and I know you are a part of my family. If Gujarat University comes, I say everybody know, and I put you as my priority. How packed my days, but still I never say no to you. So I know you have counted me as a part of the family, and I do the same. It's my pleasure to explore the topic, how to enhance your leadership and pave your path to success. And I would like to, it was lovely to see the eminent speakers, and especially which I know, Professor Sanjay Raja. It was lovely to see you as well. After a long time, I met you. And it was lovely to see the eminent speaker. The 2 speakers have done a lovely speech. But mine is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be talking through the PPT. So that will give you very insight, because all the 3 speakers have done the presentation, but my presentation is going to be in a different form. I know everybody is covered, so I don't know what is left for me to cover, but I'm going to try my best to make it more interactive and more live sessions with the faculty members, with the professional, and all the viewers and all my students who are watching me today. So let's start. At this particular moment, the world is facing a lot of difficulties and challenges, which we all have noticed. And it is a very unique situation. But remember, we are very fortunate to have the opportunity to be involved in a program that is designed to aid your leadership development and pave your path to successful future. It is necessary to operate your skills and build a bridge between the knowledge that you possess and the skills you require to ensure that you are ready to face whatever challenges you encounter. And we all have the ability to be a great successful leader. Remember, leaders are born with the leadership. You don't have to say that you are the leader. Each and everybody are the leader in their own ways. Mother is the leader, father is the leader, even the child, a little child is the leader of the house as well too. So let's look at it. There are many skills that we need to develop to facilitate how we can develop the good leadership skills. In essence, we need to develop life skills, soft skills, and hard skills. You need to develop excellent communication skills, understand the use of technology. It might be difficult to begin, but with perseverance and your positivity is the key. So let's look at the skills. So to help with this, it is important initially to maintain an equilibrium. Now, you may think to yourself, why is it important to be a good leader and a successful? Well, in life, having an equilibrium and a balance in everything that we do is very important to lead a happy, content life, which is how we want a life to live. So it will help us to grow as individuals and to help others as well at the same time, and help to secure our mental peace and well-being and create a prosperous future for ourselves and in families and the society where we live. However, to reach this, we need to evaluate our life skills and look at the ways to develop ourselves to help us reach a personal and a professional set of life skills we can use within leadership position. I think I have already talked about this slide. Okay, so I want you to imagine, okay, everybody who are sitting in my talk today, what I like everybody to do for a few seconds. For a few seconds, I want everybody to close their eyes while you're sitting or standing or listening or you're driving, whatever, because I got the messages people are telling me, oh, we are driving and we are listening. We are doing this. So I want everybody to feel very comfortable, but just close your eyes for a few seconds. I want you to imagine a strong network made up of your friends and family that are all around you. Each person brings their own personality and positive attributes. Some part of your personality might be weaker and require strengthening. You can open now. You can open your eyes, but that's okay because together we are united and strong, just like how HRDC works. I work with many different institutions, many academics, and many universities and colleges, but I feel that HRDC has got a lot of unity. So think about it. When it's united, we learn from each other, we laugh together, we cry together, and we experience life together. we are using the useful skills that we have to maintain that strong family and friends network within your lives. These are life skills. But remember, each person learns through their own perspective, taking their own time. And to be a good leader, we need to understand this. When we think about life skills, we can define it as a skills that is necessary or desirable for full participation in everyday life. It is these life skills that we utilize is to face life challenges. So in everyday life, in everyday lifestyle, sorry, 1 second. So in our everyday day-to-day life, we want to be attractive and likable. So in that respect, possessing a good personality is very important. It has been found that approximately 85% of your success and happiness will be result of how well you interact with others. And through your personality, it describes you, what you are, and who you are. It is decided that if people are attracted to you or turned away from you, we only can improve our natural look only to a certain extent. But we are able to improve our personality traits as much as we want to maximum extent and how much we desire. We can develop our personality skills and integrate those skills we choose that are agreeable to us and fit well into our personality. So the question will come to our mind, how can we achieve this? Yes, there are ways how we can achieve it. So listen intently to other people in your personal or professional life. For example, you can see this young, beautiful young lady, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, who was the first lady of the United States during the presidency of John F. Kennedy. She was regarded as an international icon of style and culture. Now, watch this one out. Now, Jackie was considered to be one of the most charming women in the world. This is because she cultivated the skills of being an exceptional listener. She was renowned for the way she would look at the persons in the eyes. She would listen to every single word and make them feel important. So you can see how she cultivated herself, because this is the way she achieved. So if we want to achieve something nice and something different, yes, we can do it. Reading a wonderful way of expanding your knowledge and cultivating new interest. The more you read and learn, the more you can relate to other individuals, providing an opportunity to exchange the views and ideas. Like today, we had three different speakers, and we have and the fourth I'm the fourth speaker. So what happens between all the four speakers? You have got the opportunity to hear, to exchange the ideas, and to learn something new, and creating a connection and expanding your personality the most relatable to others. Once you have gathered knowledge on a variety of different subject area, then learn the art of communication. It provides you with knowledge to contribute to discussion and gives you the encouragement and confidence to talk about related themes. The best way to extend your skills is by meeting new people and interact with those individuals who are not like you. Seek to understand their culture and adopt a new way of thinking through trying to understand what they do. Remember, you are authentic. So develop your authenticity, develop the way you are. Never try to be someone. In order to be a successful leader, you need to cultivate a positive mindset and a positive attitude. Through being positive, you create a positive vibes, positive energy, and express positive vibes through the way your behavior is. It is always easy to look for negative aspect of people, but you should forget the negativity and focus on the positive. Always see the best in the people. Welcome people in your environment with a warm smile and spread happiness and joy. You can do this. I know that. Yes, you can do this through your action, your ethics, your behavior. Help people when they require your help. Be thoughtful and generous with your time, knowledge, and resources. Aim to be happy, light-hearted, and see the funny side of a situation and practice gratitude, which is very important. Individuals enjoy being around people that makes them smile or laugh. It creates happy moments through which you can share positive energy around you. Be positive, excuse me, be positive and empathetic and sympathetic. They are enduring qualities which we should try to build that in. That helps to relate to the feelings and emotions of others. You will then be the support system for others around you. You can encourage and motivate others while believing in them and inspiring them to overcome their challenges in their personal or professional life. So, the question will come, how are we able to do that? The way we can do that is by integrating, by act with integrating and treat others how well you like to be treated. Because if you are true to your words, if you are true to your things, what you're planning to do, then you will be admired, you will be respected and appreciated by others. Therefore, seek to be true and honest individuals. Understand the value of other people, respect others and yourself. So, how can we do that? The way we have to do is by the way we can do is by thinking how by time management. Time management is one of the wonderful skills which we can develop to bring ourselves to a standard of being a successful leader. And time management is important quality vital in leadership. It is the process of planning and exercising conscious control over the amount of time located to specific activities so as to increase efficiency and productivity. Therefore, demonstrate that you have adhered to the preciousness of time by eagerly for your task and return them in a timely manner. So then the question will come to your mind, how do we do that? How can be the time management important part? Yes, time management can be important in a different way. But how can we do that? I will look at the first point. If you look at on the chart, on the PPT, first of all, we have got a limited time. Okay, so we all have busy with our life schedule. So effective management of your schedule, how can we allow this? Number one, increase your productivity. By time management, we can do that. Number two, explore more opportunities. Number three, make better decisions. Number four, give priority to important things. Number five, say goodbye to stress. Number six, boost your free time. Number seven, drive the road to success, and that's what we want to achieve today. Managing time is not all about squeezing every single thing in the maximum number of things possible in the scheduled time. No, it is about doing things efficiently in a way that is more important. Things are done first, your work is simplified, you save time, and your stress level reduces. So, how can we do that? The question comes to our mind, how can we do that? Yes, we can do that. Very simple and easy. So let's look at it. First of all, give priority and divide your tasks in the following categories. How can we do how can we put things together? Important, first category, important, urgent, and not urgent. So we have wonderful technologies to help create time log on regular basis. For example, on our phones, tablets, or laptops, develop a habit of keeping track of all tasks that needs your time and attention on a daily or a weekly basis. Set alarms and reminder if necessary. This will help you understand where all the time you're wasting, and based on this observation you can start saving time. Also figure it out when you are the most productive and schedule top priority tasks for this time. And then the other thing will be coming up, that focus on one thing at a time. When you try to do too many things at the same time, you will finish none. And what will happen? You'll end up by doing poorly because your time was divided with many other projects, and you may perform each task with less efficiency and attention to detail. As a leader, this is very important. How can we do things? How can we think it's good or bad? So now the time has come that we have to review our time management. So review your progress. Making a plan is one thing, but adhering to it is a different thing, because by doing that you develop a habit of reviewing your progress on the task on your tracker at least once a day. This will help you to revise your plan accordingly to progress, and each of your goals are achieved very quickly. So you remember, a man cannot work for 24 hours. They need a break. Take a break while you're doing your work. Working hard on improving your time management skill. Do not forget to give your time some time to think about for yourself. Give your time for a break every once in a few hours. You must realize that nobody in this world can work for too long hours. Their efficiency getting affected, particularly when you are leading others. Therefore, instead of just sitting in front of the laptop for hours and hours, take short breaks. Take a quick nap. Grab some snack which is healthy. This will freshen you up. And when you get back to the work, you will notice your efficiency has increased. And how do you do that? By making a task. You can make a task your habit. There are so many things that we have to do on a regular basis. And in corporate world, the way you are living in the normal life, the only way you can do these things smoothly without getting anxious is by turning them into habits. Now, what type of habits are we talking about? Habits come naturally to us, hence save time and relieve stress. Other thing I would say, maintain a healthy lifestyle. This is more important to time management than you think. When you exercise regularly, sleep at least 7 hours a day, eat nutritious food, and you are able to maintain a good state of mind. Believe it or not, with a healthy lifestyle, you are able to do a quality work faster and with much efficiency. Lastly, I would like you to say, make sure whatever work you do, whatever you are planning to do, enjoy your work. You like to be a leader, you like to be a school teacher, you like to be a professor, you like to be a carpenter, you like to be a housewife. Make sure Do the things what you like to enjoy. When you enjoy your work, you would love to do the thing without any effort. The things will be done with effortless. And that is the way how you can motivate yourself and do the things without noticing yourself and be a successful. Sometimes we may feel that we are under pressure with the exam stress, with the deadline, with the school opening, with the college opening, with the pressure, the precious time is just getting too much hype. But to cope with a high volume of work, it means attempting to foresee work problems and being able to plan for them. We may feel work stress, which can lead to low morale and start to feel anxious about your workload and may find the ability to cope it with difficulty. But some people find they thrive to work under pressure. There are some wonderful mobile apps that can be downloaded to help your stress management, like mindfulness and meditation. Mental well being is a paramount importance. So, coping strategy and the ability to foresee problems can be taught and encouraged. Now, the thing will come to our mind that how can we develop these sort of leaderships in ourselves? So, leadership development requires the important skills which is very highly recommended to be a successful leader. So, they have to use the soft skills. Essentially, it combines communication skills, people skills, social skills, character or a personality traits, and a social and emotional intelligence, as well as attitudes and a career attributes. They all are related to each other. And remember, when you are connected, they all enable individuals to work well in team, perform well, and help to achieve your goals, your achievement, working in conjunction with the hard skills you have learned. It can also be viewed as a synonym of people skill. So let's look at how can we think about this type of qualities. So there are many types of the communication skills. So when we are thinking about communication skills, think about it, including now, what is our communication while I'm talking to you on a Zoom call. So including verbal and non-verbal, business, family, political, and interpersonal. If we look verbal communication, the way you use sounds and words to express yourself. Right now, I'm expressing my view, and you are expressing me that you are listening. The way you are listening, though I can't see you, all of you, but you all can see me. But my vibes, my communicating with all audience sitting in front of me, I feel that I know you are listening to me. The way you use sounds and words to express yourself, the way you speak, the way you write and transmit messages, all you need to be positive and enthusiastic. This is because meanings that are attached to the words can be literal, relating to the topic being discussed. So ensure that you communicate effectively, relating to the context and relationships, including feelings, history, and power dynamic to the communication. So now we will be thinking, how can we do that? Let's talk about non-verbal communication. It's very important, as it is described as those aspects communication such as gestures and facial expressions that do not involve verbal communication, but which may include non-verbal aspect of speech itself. For example, accent, tone of voice, speed of speaking. It represents to others how we think and feel through voluntarily and non-voluntarily movements. So, how can we improve that? The way we can improve is by body language. So when it comes to the body language, I will give you a tip as being a successful leader. Always carry a pleasant smile on your face. Remember, smile doesn't cost you. Smile is a blessing only to the people who are blessed. Not everybody will smile. Every day you will see all the people in the society, your colleagues, your family, your friends, people you're connected. Are they all having a smile? Remember, smile is a blessing. So if you can smile, the world will smile at you. Number two, maintain proper eye contact. When you have a good eye contact, you can win the world. You can win that person. And number three, when you have the chance to stand in appropriate situation, make sure you stand straight because you will look more powerful and beautiful. Number four, always use your arm movements during any kind of explanation. This will make you more confident and smart. And one last thing I will tell you, always remember, sit with your toe pointing out. That is one of the qualities which leader has developed. Now, we will talk about the decision making. I don't know how much time have I got now, Professor Priti. I'm just wondering, we are going more than 5 o'clock. So if you tell me the time, then we can see, because I do have my still 10 minutes slides, 10 minutes presentation is still left for me to do. So please do let me know. So one of the slides I will talk about is the decision making.
Maureen, if you don't mind, take 2-3 minutes, and I think after that we'll do some discussion with participants.
Sure, no problem. That's why I wanted to ask you. No problem.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
No worries. So that the important part is the decision making. When we are making any decision, it has to be a core and the decision making has to be appropriate. There are 6 steps to follow on the decision making, but I will quickly go through: identify the problem, opportunities or challenges, develop a set of potential and responses to viable solution, evaluate the benefit and any associates cost with the implementation of each solution. Number 4, select the most suitable solution or responses to address the issue. Number 5, then implement your possible decision. This one, I'm telling you, these 6 steps are very useful, but only to a certain extent. Review the last stage, the impact of the decision you have made. Yeah. So the leadership skill, you need to have a good behavior, help people, and that will help you to overcome the challenges which you are going through. So these are all the qualities to be a role model, effective communication, positive attitude that will really help you to build your career, to build yourself. And to be a successful leader, you need to be in a teamwork. When there is a good teamwork, there is a lot of things where you can achieve without thinking in that way. And to do a problem solving, a leader will always go into the problem solving when there is nothing else left for the leader. Then the leader is the person who comes into the picture and help the colleagues and help the person in the way they should be working together. Now I will quickly I'll quickly go through my slide, which is the one which I would never forget, this one, which is very important, that how can you adapt your behavior to make this master? So change your perspective. A leader always has to think in a way what the quality he possesses himself. He should not be looking the things in the team. He should be changing for himself to be a good leader. When you think things are not working, never think you're a failure, but analyze the situation and look at the alternative things. Now, I remember a beautiful quote with Mahatma Gandhi said, only you can do this by looking for yourself. When Mahatma Gandhi made this quote, whenever I read his quote, I always feel that he says only he can be a leader. Only he can be a leader who never loses hope. So always be hopeful and positive, and you can do whatever you want to put your mind to together. Like in coronavirus, people have taken this as a negative thought or a positive. But my perceptions of talking as a leader, I took this COVID-19 as a positive mindset. And this is where, which Professor Priti mentioned, that I have done a lot of work, yes, because I took it as a challenge. I took it the way it came up to me as opportunities. I made this challenge into my opportunities, where I have done until today 130 talks on online and a face-to-face. So thank you very much for listening to me. It was really lovely to see you again, all of you in HRDC team, and that is my privilege to be part of your team. Thank you. And
Thank you
namaste.
so much, Pareen, for sharing your views on leadership, and it was very nice presentation by you. And we had really a great journey of leadership with all of you four masters today. So once again, thank you. Pareen has just finished with Mahatma Gandhi's quote. Gandhiji has also said that you may never know what results come of your actions, but if you do nothing, there will be no results. So as we know that, and I had just thinking that the spelling of leader, L means lend a helpful hand, encourage, always listen, do the right thing, energize, respect others, and start serving. So we just share our views on leadership. So friends, we have 4 to 5 minutes. If you want to ask questions to the resource person, you can ask them. Please write down the question, or your if you want to unmute yourself, you can unmute and ask the resource person. Yeah. Anybody wants to? Okay, so friends, let's proceed further. Yeah, I'm requesting Professor C.G. Brahmbhatt for the vote of thanks. Yes, sir, please. Sir, your mic.
Sorry. Thank you, Prithvi. Firstly, I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Himanshu Pandya sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Jagdish Bhavsar sir, and Registrar Dr. P.M. Patel sir for their constant support and motivation us. I thank for all the resource person for their presence and their valuable knowledge. I am also thankful to our HRDC whole teams. And lastly, I thankful to all the participants choose our HRDC. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this vote of thanks. Once again, on behalf of HRDC, thank you, Professor C.G. Brahmbhatt for this vote of thanks. Friends, the first responsibility of leader is to define reality. The last is to say thank you. In between, the leader is servant. So please remember this, and be a servant of the society, of the surroundings. Yeah. Thank you. As we know that Corona is still with us, so be safe, stay safe, stay at home, be careful. Have a great day. Bye-bye to everyone. Thank you once again. Thank you all the participants, all these resource persons. Thank you.